Hey there, and thanks for gifting yourself these next few minutes. It's important to remember that you're a priority, and allowing yourself even just a few short minutes of intentional reflection can really have a positive impact on the rest of your day. So let's use these next few minutes to come back to center and set an intention for the rest of your day. Move into a comfortable position, whether you're seated at your desk at work or laying on the couch at home, and gently close your eyes and shift all of your attention onto your breathing, taking slower, deeper breaths than you've taken all day so far. Taking a deep breath in through your nose and slowly letting it out through your mouth. And continuing to breathe that way, feeling your lungs expand out as you inhale and contract back in as you exhale. Tune into your body, noticing how it feels. Noticing if there's anything that it's trying to tell you. Notice any place of tension or tightness in your body. And give those areas permission to relax, sending love into those areas. Thank your body for taking such good care of you, and let it know that it's okay to rest and relax for these next few minutes. You may notice that your mind starts to wander off. That's okay. That's natural. Just notice it and bring your attention back to your body, using your breath as your anchor. Try to picture one thing that's happened today that's made you smile, or made you thankful or appreciative. And just let that feeling fill you up for a moment. Breathe that feeling in from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And allow yourself to smile if that feels natural. Now focus on something that you can do today, whether it's for yourself or for someone else, that will allow you to continue feeling this way. It could be something as small as deciding to go to bed early tonight, so that you have time to finally read that book that's been on your bedside table. Or the joy of getting dinner with a close friend. What's one little thing you can plan for your day to bring that intentional joy to it? Now just focus on that for a few minutes. Sit in that feeling of joy and peace. Now let's take a few more deep breaths together. A deep breath in, feeling your lungs expand out as you inhale, and everything contract back in as you exhale. For it, holding that breath for a beat, and exhaling everything out. Last time, your deepest breath yet, sending that breath through your entire body. And exhale it out. And in your own time, slowly bring your awareness back to where you are. And thank yourself for taking these few minutes to just be intentional and kind to yourself. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and enjoy the rest of your day. Hey there, and thanks for
On D-Day, 6th of June 1944, the Allies launched the largest naval, air and land operation in the history of warfare. Codenamed Operation Overlord, it marked the beginning of a long and costly campaign to liberate Europe from Nazi domination. Early on the 6th of June, Allied airborne forces dropped behind the beaches to secure the flanks of the landing zones. Then, at 0630 hours, troops began landing on the 5 assault beaches: Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno and Sword. By the end of the day, the Allies had gained a firm foothold along the coast and were ready to begin their advance inland. Although limited planning for an invasion of Europe began soon after the invasion of Dunkirk in 1940, detailed preparations for Operation Overlord did not begin until late 1943. A command team led by the American General Dwight D. Eisenhower was formed in December 1943 to plan the naval, air and land operation. As a crucial part of their preparations for D-Day, the Allies developed deception and misdirection campaigns to draw German attention and military strength away from Normandy. This included fake radio traffic and decoy equipment, such as inflatable tanks and dummy landing craft, and even imaginary military forces and special agents. To build up resources for the invasion, British factories increased production, and in the first half of 1944, approximately 9 million tons of supplies and equipment crossed the Atlantic from North America to Britain. A substantial Canadian force had been assembling in Britain since December 1939, and over 1.4 million American servicemen had arrived during 1943 and 1944 to take part in the landings. By 1944, over 2 million troops from 12 countries were in Britain preparing for the invasion. On D-Day, Allied forces consisted primarily of American, British and Canadian troops, but also included Australians, Belgians, Czechs, Dutch, French, Greeks, New Zealanders, Norwegians, Rhodesians and Poles. Nearly 7,000 naval vessels, including battleships, destroyers, minesweepers, escorts and assault craft, took part in Operation Neptune, the naval component of Overlord. Naval forces were responsible for escorting and landing over 132,000 ground troops on the beaches on the first day. Warships also carried out bombardments on German coastal defences before and during the landings and provided artillery support for the invading troops. HMS Belfast led Bombardment Force E, supporting the British and Canadian assaults on Juno and Gold Beaches. She opened fire at 5:27 a.m. on the 6th of June 1944. D-Day did not bring an end to the war in Europe, but it did signify from that moment forward, victory in Europe was in sight. By August 1944, the Germans were in full retreat from France. By September, Allied momentum had slowed. The Germans were able to regroup and launched a failed but determined counter-offensive in the Ardennes in December 1944. Germany's defeat in the Battle of the Bulge and the resultant manpower shortages allowed the Allies to recommence their advance into Germany itself.
June 6th, 1944. Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, France in the D-Day invasion of World War II. Commanding the massive operation, General Dwight Eisenhower, who tells the troops,
"You are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you."
Years later, D-Day veteran Vernon Groscup recalls what he saw on the beaches firsthand.
The destruction and the death, the bodies laying all over. And in other words, I've seen death before, but this was the ultimate, as I'd say.
1982. In the Mideast, Israel invades neighboring Lebanon to drive out Yasser Arafat and his Palestinian fighters. Months later, Arafat and the PLO leadership leave Lebanon, relocating to Tunisia in North Africa. Israel withdraws most of its troops 3 years later, but holds a border zone in South Lebanon until 2000. 1985. In Brazil, authorities exhume a body later identified as remains of Josef Mengele, the fugitive Nazi doctor. Known as the Angel of Death, Mengele performed cruel medical experiments on inmates at the Auschwitz concentration camp during the Holocaust. In 1933, the first drive-in movie theater opens in Camden, New Jersey. Drive-ins become a pop culture sensation across the United States in the first few decades after World War II. Today in History, June 6th. Camille Bohannon, The Associated Press.